Welcome to the Cambridge Learning Center. I'm Leonardo Radomile. Today we're going to be talking about college admissions. Choosing the right school is a big decision. Where you go to college can really have an impact on your future. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation floating around, particularly about getting into the best schools like Harvard or Stanford or Columbia. Unfortunately, the people who have the loudest voices usually aren't the ones that have gone to those schools or taught at those schools or been involved in the admissions process. So in order to help you make better decisions, we're doing a series of videos on all of the aspects of college admissions. And in this first video, we're going to be giving you an overview of 5 of the key factors that are involved. You see, at the Cambridge Learning Center, our faculty has gone to those schools, has taught at those schools, and has even been involved in admissions. So I think you'll find these videos very helpful. Now, most people think that college admissions is largely or almost exclusively driven by SAT scores and grades. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Now, I don't mean to minimize the importance of these. I mean, SAT scores and grades are very important. And when you take a look at the best schools, you'll see that most of the students are bunched up around 2250 on the SAT and usually have a 3.7 grade average or better. But one of the things that you also see is that there are always a number of students that maybe can even considerably below that. And what are the factors that have those students admitted, and what are the factors that will have one top student admitted when another is not? And those are the factors that we call intangibles. Those are the critical factors that you really can't measure by numbers, but are often as important and sometimes even more important than SAT scores and grades. Now let's think about what those intangibles are. The 3 things that these intangibles have in common is that they all involve activities outside of the classroom, where a student really shows his or her interests and talents. And what are these intangibles? Well, the first category of intangibles are exceptional achievement in any area. The first category involves achievement in academic type endeavors. For example, a student may win an important regional or national robotics contest, or maybe a national or regional debate contest. So the academic achievements outside of the classroom can be very important. In addition to that, and equally important, are athletic accomplishments. If a student is a top athlete in any sport, that really is always noticed by admissions committees. And the third category is any kind of significant achievement in the arts and sciences. It could be a really interesting research project, a really interesting arts project. But in all of these categories, the most important thing is exceptional achievement. Remember, it's not important how many activities a student is involved in. It's the level of achievement in 2 or even just 1 activity that really makes all the difference. Now, the second category, in addition to exceptional achievement, is anything that shows a high degree of leadership, where a student shows not only initiative and competence in solving some kind of a problem, but also inspires other people to come on board and follow their lead. And you can see this in a number of different areas. It can be in going after an important public service project where a particular public problem is solved. It can involve community service or even involvement in a political campaign. Anything that involves leadership, and particularly leadership and service, where a student shows initiative and is capable of inspiring other people, is really going to be noticed. And the third category of activities really go to the character and personality of the student, and very often involve overcoming adversities. For example, you may have a student who's the child of a single mom and the whole family are recent immigrants living in a poor inner city neighborhood where they have really underperforming schools, and that particular child has to work 25 hours a week to help support the family. But notwithstanding that, is still a straight A student and is captain of the debate team. And even though he or she may be in an underperforming school that doesn't even have AP courses, still manages to get a 1900 on the SAT and get high grades. Now, when an admissions committee looks at a student like that, they can be a very, very strong candidate because they've shown an enormous strength of character and an enormous caring for their family. And the ability to overcome circumstances like that really says that if a student is put into really good circumstances, like the community that exists at a top school, they're really going to flourish and make a contribution. Now, all of these activities come together, all of these intangibles come together in the admissions essay. And I cannot overemphasize how important that admissions essay is, because that's the one place where a student is not a number or a statistic. That's the one place where a student really gets to show their personality, their character, and give insight into what kind of person this applicant really is. Now, these not only have to be very well written in and of themselves, but in addition to that, they've really got to give insight into what that student is authentically like. But having been on an admissions committee at Harvard, I can tell you that it's really that admissions essay that really separates so many students from the others. So that's an overview of 5 of the main characteristics that all admissions committees take into consideration when evaluating candidates. Remember, SAT scores and grades really are important, but so also are the intangibles. And keep in mind, one of the very most important things is that application essay, where everything comes together and the student is presented as he or she really is. Now, in our next videos, we're going to be going in depth into each one of these areas. So we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment below this video, and we'll be happy to give you a response. So thanks again for stopping at the Cambridge Learning Center. You're always welcome. And for the Cambridge Learning Center, I'm Leonardo Radomile.